What up, fight fans? It's your boy D-Rock, and you're watching D-Rock Boxing. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua and how the negotiations have been going. Well, what it's looking like, how that situation is going. So, Joseph Parker is very, very keen to fight Anthony Joshua. Okay, they started off with a 50-50, we want 50-50 split, and they've come out and said that 20% is for voluntary defense. That's the split that happens if AJ was to choose, so for example, I don't know if, for example, I think the Dominic Breazeale fight, 20%, or the Eric Molina, 20%, where Pulev, and that ended up being Takam as a mandatory. That's a 30% split, 30-70. AJ gets 70, Takam gets 30. I'm not sure if that's what he got, but this is what Joseph Parker's team has said on the record. They come out and said, 20% for voluntary, 30% for mandatory. Joseph Parker is a champion. He's the WBO heavyweight champion of the world. He holds that belt. In a fight between him and AJ, Anthony Joshua, would be a unification fight. So he's saying if 20% is for a voluntary, 30% is for mandatory, then for a crack at his WBO heavyweight championship belt in a unification fight, he wants 40%, and that would seem reasonable. That would seem reasonable. He's come out, I've got an article, I'll put it in the description box, and it says he's willing to go as low as 35%. And I think that would be as low as you'd really want to go on something like this. Why would you want to go any lower when mandatories are getting 30%? I mean, he's not in a position to become a mandatory as a champion. You're not in the rankings anymore. He has been a mandatory for that IBF belt. Then he won. He took on the fight against Andy Ruiz Jr. and he won his WBO belt. Therefore, his number one position in the IBF rankings was no longer there anymore because he's now a champion. Do you understand? So it seems to me, AJ's come out, he said a few things. So he's stated one of his goals is he wants to be a billionaire. Okay, he's chasing money. Yep. Then he's also come out and he said, I want to be unified, undisputed champion, which means holding all the belts. He wants to beat Deontay Wilder. Well, he wants to take the belt, the WBC belt off Deontay and the WBO belt off Joseph Parker. However he goes about doing that, whether they have the belt when it comes to it, maybe they fight each other and then he just fights one guy. However it goes about, he wants to be the undisputed champion by the end of 2018. To do that, you have to unify. To unify, you have to put money on the table. So he's come out and said, Joseph Parker's trying to sell his belt. He's not trying to sell his belt. He's trying to get a fair and reasonable offer. It's called negotiations, AJ. A fair and reasonable offer for what he's worth, for what his belt is worth, for what his position as WBO heavyweight champion is worth. So other events have occurred. Tyson Fury's come out. He's put a wager, $5,000, to bet anybody in the world Joseph Parker will knock him out. Joseph Parker is clearly not trying to sell his belt. It's not about money for him. It's about the fight. If you really wanted to unify AJ, the money would not be an issue. Money is of no factor to somebody whose goal is to unify. What does money matter? What does it matter? Is it coming out of your pocket? Not really. Maybe in a split situation, and that's where this goal of becoming a billionaire comes in. Is that clouding your judgment? Is that clouding your ability? Is that the overriding factor here? I mean, he said he wanted to be a billionaire long before he ever said, I want to be the undisputed unified champion. Is that what's going on here? You're a bit money hungry. Who knows? Who knows? Let's get it done, guys. Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, let's get this fight done. Nobody wants to be stuffing around with this crap anymore. Make the deal. Our guy JP here, he's willing. 35%. All you have to do, offer that. 35%. Fair and reasonable. When voluntaries are 20%, mandatories are 35%. Or 30%, sorry. A 35% for a unification fight for a heavyweight championship belt is more than fair and reasonable. Stop dicking around. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe. I'll catch you in another vid.